Hello, hello. Uh, well, nice to meet you guys. My name's Craig. I guess I'm going to start off with something simple for now. I'm not very familiar with how the blogging thing goes. I'm going to give it a little try, but on simple terms, I'm going to explain on my first video how interesting, to give the least, how this month was. Um, let's see. I had Early on, best friend was learning how to drive. Everything was going good as far as I knew. And then he came back. I was at work at the time because my girlfriend said, "Hey, I'm gonna take him out." I'm like, "Well, honestly, it was fine. I mean, I'm not really mad. I can't really be mad, but it was just one of those. It happened. Things happen. So he gets back into the parking lot. From what I was told, then the guy that was next to him, I guess they freaked out a little bit. It was just one of those. He was going to park. Everything was great. She said he was awesome, a great spot, amazing spot. Then he decided to floor it to the put the pedal to the floor and decided to total the car, which was interesting. But that wasn't bad. Um, so that was one of the news that I got this month. Then my other news was is my car got totaled, and that was fun. Ran that into had that hit a tree. Then shortly after everything was happening, trying to figure out stuff with work, trying to figure out how to get back and forth. Let me tell you that's an adventure. Uh, Shortly after, I get stuck. Pretty much told the town's been shut down where I live in. I live in Falmouth, Kentucky. There was a train wreck earlier this month, I believe, if I remember correctly, and they decided the train was derailed pretty bad. I do have a video a little bit showing how the train looked. So it's actually it was worse in the description of the train itself than, well, not even just description. It was bad all in general. From what I was told, it was 2 hours in both north and south direction, which, as you know, a train, they're pretty long. It's kind of rough, but that was interesting. So, and then we were told it was an acid train, which then we had to keep everything checked, check the waters, check the everything with the company, and pretty much from, I almost want to say maybe 100 feet one direction and the next amount so far down, like, so they had to evacuate a few of the people. Kids got stuck in school. Like I said, I do have a video actually showing the way the train looked, how it derailed, and everything there. Then my month got a little, and everything was getting a little more interesting. Best friend, his wife gave birth to a beautiful girl. She was very young. She was anxious that day because with the train happening, very nervous. They weren't sure which way we were going to go, how we were going to get out, what we are going to do. So what I wound up doing is we ended up talking to them, and then she ended up having her, I almost want to say niece, maybe. Anyhow, her name is just one of those. Her niece, she, I guess I'm going to go with, because I'm not very familiar, not the greatest at remembering some of the things. I do apologize. But um, she talked too, so there was a way to talk to them as well. So there was a way around everything. So we end up. I had to take her mom, took her mom, I believe her niece and me. We got all into the car, went all the way out from where I live, Falmouth, or where we live in the apartment complex, Falmouth, all the way out to Edgewood, Kentucky, which I wasn't familiar of the one way, which is pretty much shorter than what I took. I went from Falmouth to Crittenden, from Crittenden to the 75 South, or I'm sorry, not South, the 75 North Highway to Edgewood, Kentucky, or not Kentucky, Edgewood Hospital. which is the same E. And then that added on to like 20 minutes of the original hour trip from where we live. That was something. It wasn't bad though. We got her there shortly after I got her there. Michael, or I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get disclosed names. Um, Her husband, my best friend, he showed up, and then shortly after, he just barely missed it because shortly after I got her there, they rushed her in, and she gave birth to, like I said, a very beautiful daughter, who I'm actually happy for my best friend for everything on that. He just amazing on how much everything's going on that end. So that progressed from there. Then added on top of that, that was actually good news. We'll leave that at good news. That's okay. This month, that was the best news this month. Not gonna lie. Because, like I said, this month has been one of those. It went from could have been better. I honestly wish it would have went better. But then we went. Everything started going a little okay. My other friend, Robbie, uh, we decided, okay, it was another week. I want to say maybe it was the 18th of this month, I believe, if I remember correctly. I don't want to say it was the 19th. Yeah, it was the 18th, which was a Thursday. We stood up a little bit. We only got a few hours of sleep, which is upsetting. It was raining most of the day, so it made it a little bit more worrisome, a little bit more stressful on that, because it went from roads were a little wet, a little slick, so we ended up driving. Everything was going fine till we hit the Route 25 from where we go to. I go from where Falmouth, Kentucky to Richwood, Kentucky. We go pretty much down the road, make a right on 27, take 27 to 17, 17 to 14, and then 14 to 25, Route 25, and then Route 25 straight down to pretty much Richwood, Kentucky. So, back roads. All back roads. And I'm not very familiar with the truck because I end up totaling my car. They gave me a rental, which with the rental, they gave me a truck. Like I said, not very familiar with trucks. Well, the back end of it, at that point, from when we got to 25, about halfway from 25 to Richwood, the back end of it swung out, and there were 6 rail spikes right there. From what I was explained from the guy behind us, because me and my friend, we both best friend, we were both, well, we don't know what really happened. We really can't sit down and say, because it happened too fast. So that, from what he said, hit the back end, came out a little bit from the slick road. He said from oil or something, which is I'm not the first person who has flipped a vehicle there. This is the second one they had an issue, so that happened. We ended up back end, caught the spike, flipped the truck from what I remember, and then from there, after it hit the momentum, flipped it again, and then caused it to roll into the ditch. I got pictures of that I can post as well, showing a little bit more detail. I'll probably post that in a attachment or maybe a separate video and go a little more detail about it, showing the actual truck. I can talk a little bit more about it, just explain how we both felt. Not gonna lie, it was very nerve-wracking because me personally, I have an issue with that because I have just a past that goes behind more detail that I eventually might explain a little bit more in the next video, explaining why I feel like I did, the way I felt as bad as I did with everything happening because of that reason. So then that happens. So, mind you, the insurance is not very happy with me to begin with. I'm sure they're really hating me at this point. I've been very good with driving. I went from 18 to I'm now 25 without an accident. I had a no-fault accident because the lady was going down the road, hit the back end of a truck, caused the truck's brakes to give out, and then hit the back end of my car. So but that was at a no fault. So that was something they told me that you had no choice because I was sitting at a red light for that one. So up to this month, from that 18 to now, which like I said, I'm 25, I done great. Now, it's been stressful because I got to deal with the insurances. It's been one thing after another, and I've just been trying to figure it out. Well, the second accident happened, I did wind up having issue even more with transportation. I was in the middle switching between jobs either way. Yeah, it was upsetting. Yeah, it was disappointing that I wound up losing my one job because I really didn't want to lose it. I really wanted to leave on good terms, but I wound up losing that. I am heading towards another job. At least I'm trying to get everything straightened out in order for that end. I do have some good news, in my opinion, good news. Uh, my girlfriend, she is currently carrying a child. We're not sure on the sex yet. We haven't gotten to the hospital. I do want to make a video of that trip down there, as long as she's okay with it. Which I don't see why not. I mean, I might be able to convince her. Uh, or maybe not. You never know. Or I might just wind up getting strangled. Be like, what is that camera doing here? Like, why? Take that camera and leave, is probably what I'm going to get. Not going to lie. I do apologize at first. This video is a little longer. This is going to be a starting video for me. I do want to start blogging more. I want to actually keep track of everything, and I want to actually have fun with this. I want to actually enjoy it. I know I've heard a lot of people tell me it's something enjoyable. It's something worth looking into. It helps get a lot off your shoulders. And they're like, well, you got a lot to relate to, and give it a shot. So I'm like, okay. Then, so, as I was saying, this month has been one of those really, like, can it get even more stressful? Even though I really shouldn't say that. I really gotta stop saying that. I really do. Like, I can't tell you how much enough I really am, like, kicking myself in the own rear for this. Like, I'm kicking my own self. Like, my mind's like, shut up. Stop jinxing it. Because it went, well, I talked to the insurance. They paid the cash value of my car, which was the Pontiac that I originally ended up hitting a tree and totaled out. Well, problem with that is the cash value wound up being only half of what I owed. So it was like maybe a little more than half, or maybe a little less than half. So that's a little stressful there too. So I'm working that out. I'm trying to figure that out. But this is all going to take time. And that's what I've been working with, realizing. And why not? I mean, push comes to shove. I pay a little bit on that. They already said they're more than happy to work with me and get me into another vehicle because that's been an issue there. Because now move a little bit more forward this month, which this month is now move forward month of August. This day is the 27th, which has been interesting because the past 2 days my girlfriend's been kind of stuck out in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, because my neighbor slash best friend, he's been allowing us to use his car, which has been helping me out exponentially until I can get this all straightened out because of what happened, especially with the two accidents within 1 month. It's been no, but his brakes locked up. So his car right now is up in Fort Thomas, which is literally about, I want to say, give or take an hour to an hour 10 from here. It's about a 45-minute drive from Falmouth, Kentucky to Richwood. So from where I'm at to where Richwood is, it's about, like I said, roughly 45 minutes, depending how the roads are, depending on the weather, and how much traffic is going in and out back roads. Because you really don't want to drive too fast on these back roads. Because one thing I've learned, animals love these roads. Like, I know I sound stupid saying that, but no. Trust me. Go on a back road. You'll see deer, you'll see cats, you'll see owls. I've done slammed on my brakes for an owl sitting in the middle of the road, taking off. After I'm like, well, shoot, that's something. Nope, not hitting an owl. Ain't gonna happen. Everyone's like, just run that motherfucker over. Just run him over. I'm like, no, I'm not running him over. Okay, add on top of coons. I don't know if you've ever dealt with a coon. They're not fun, especially to run over. They're not fun. So coons, deer. I think I've already said deer. Sorry, they're a nuisance, big time. Not as bad, well, except for the one. We had a deer literally and right in the road, staring right at us. All right, well, turn the lights off. Maybe thinking to move a little bit. No, turn them back on. Still there, staring. Hit the horn. Like, come on, are you going to move? Are you going to do something? Are we going to have a problem? Can I go around? Well, no, I didn't want to go around because my luck is it's going to run and smack into the car and do whatever to it. So, after that, we're like, okay, and give it a little more time. My friend starts shouting out the window, yells at it. It starts running. Or like, okay, well, I at least got it to move. Same amount of distance, went down the road a little bit. A dog. I'm like, oh my goodness, are you serious? Like, what in the world is, like, why? Like, did we miss something? Is something going on? Like, why are we having everything feel like it's now just wanting to sit in the middle of the road? Which, you know what? Nothing I can say. Either way, it's whatever. Either way, but it was kind of one of those back roads. Like I said, you're gonna learn real quick. If you live in any kind of country, you live in any kind of back where you got long stretch of roads, driving from one long distance to another, you're gonna learn. Oh yeah, see, pillow, emoji pillow, friend. One of my best friends, Robbie, gave it to us. It's, believe it or not, my dog Kita does not care for this pillow, which is quite nice because she likes to chew everything. But yeah, he gave that to us. We moved in and everything's been it's been an interesting adventure because that was what's actually started this month. Is I'm getting a little sidetracked. I do apologize. I'll get back to the whole issue with the brakes in the car with the girlfriend out in Fort Thomas because she's still there right now and ready to kill me. That's I'll be lucky to keep my own head on my shoulders when she gets back. She's already done told me they haven't. Her family has been a little loud, a little more what she's not used to because she is pregnant, a little hormonal, a little lack of sleep. Yeah, put two and two together. It's been one of those fun. But like I was saying, uh, beginning of this month, I wound up losing the place I was living at because it wasn't that I couldn't pay for it. I was living with roommates. They decided, well, unless you plan on paying more than your share and you need to come up with the money right away, they said, well, since you don't want to do that, you need to get out. And I went from pretty much everything going fine, everything just started sinking from there. But it's starting to get, it was, I mean, it was fun, everything was good. It wasn't that everything was the worst. I mean, there is a lot more I can say. There's a lot more I'd like to say, fill in, a lot more I'd like to talk about because there really is a lot that's happened in my life alone, let alone this year. Like, it's just, it amazes me. It's wow. And so I went from, okay, now I'm panicking. I have a few issues trying to find a place, trying to get everything taken care of, like, on that aspect. Because it isn't easy. It really isn't. A lot of people tells you it's just as simple as going out, find a place, fill out an application. No. Don't let anybody lie to you on that aspect. It really isn't. Because there's a lot more factors into it. Yes, it's not the hardest thing. It's not the worst thing you'll do. But there really is a lot more to it. You fill out the application, you pay the application fees, and then you got to also run the risk of not getting approved of a place. Because let's say at the time when you were younger, like this has happened to me, you put your name on a lease, something doesn't go right because either roommates or because she did it for family, they needed something at the time, that's an eviction on you. And an eviction like that makes it that much harder to find a place. So not only did that impact everything on me, that slowed everything down. That made things a little bit harder. I am still working on a lot of my stuff there. I am still working on a lot of my debt. But it's just one of those, what you do determines how you can move and how hard it is or how easy it is. But to be honest, even when somebody says, yeah, it's easy, I did it. Well, yeah, I'm glad you did it just fine. But that doesn't mean I'll be okay to do it. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy for somebody else. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy for you or anyone for the matter of fact. And that's something a lot of people forget to tell you. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. I can tell you firsthand, I called over 30 different places, if not more. I have done filled out many applications to get a place when I moved. Does that mean it was something I couldn't accomplish? No, I did it. I found a place. This is where I'm living at now. I mean, it is a studio. Like, it's not the biggest thing right now. I guess not really a studio. It's more like an efficiency because it is decent size. It's bigger than a studio. Like, I'll give it credit that. Like, I got a room, like a little like living kind of, you know, living slash bedroom, whatever you want to call it. But it's decent size. I have a kitchen, and I have a bathroom. Like, I can probably show you if I can get this thing to be nice to me. And as you can see, like, it's not bad for what it is. I mean, I'm grateful because like I said, I had nothing. I really did. And when you go from having nothing to, as you can somewhat see, I'm trying to be as easy with it as I can. And then it goes into here, which is your kitchen. And as you can see. And then this is obviously the bathroom. But, like I said, I'm very grateful for everything. It's been an adventure. It's been one heck of a road. Now, give me a minute. I'm going to set back up over here. Sorry. But that's something you learn that you can be proud of. Like, look what I did. I did this. But, on side note, that was beginning of my month. That was an adventure in itself, coming up with at least enough money to get in. Landlords, she's quirky. I'll explain a little later. But I gotta get back. I'm gonna get back to the topic I was talking about before I went on this stretch. So, like I said, give me 1 second. Well, like I said, girlfriend's out in Fort Thomas, which I want to say north. Yeah, it's north from here, but it's about an hour and 20 minutes, roughly. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. Well, no, I want to say be about an hour, actually, even, because from Falmouth to Cincinnati, I can make it in an hour. And that's taking a direct route. No speeding, no just following the speed limit, just taking my time and doing everything the right way. But yeah, so she's stuck all the way out there. She said she should be able to make it back because that was one of the hard things right now with me is getting her home was because, well, the car she had, originally the reason why she went out there was to do laundry. Our laundry is kind of one of those, I'm not going to complain. I'm very grateful we have a washer and dryer here, but with us trying to keep ends meeting without trying to spend too much money right now until I get back into my job, until I get back into work easily, everything's going to go good. I got everything going because today's Saturday. Monday at 8 o'clock, I got that'll be taken care of. So, but we're not really trying to spend a lot of money. But it is getting to be a long video. I can explain more in another one. I am actually kind of happy I got to do this. I really was kind of not sure I was going to make a 24-minute video. I'm really kind of shocked. Not going to lie. Well, like I said, first introduction video. I will get a lot better. I will work on it. Any recommendations? Like the video? Want to hear more from me? Well, just like my video or say hi or mention something in the comments. I'll be more than happy to respond back. Or shoot, subscribe. Uh, I'm not trying to sound like every other YouTuber. I'm really not. But, well, that sounds awful. Get rid of that because, I like a lot of YouTubers. I'm just saying, it's up to you guys. Alrighty, peace out.